Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Stuck in the Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Uncle AK.
And I'm Flex. Welcome.
Yeah, man. How you feeling, man?
I feel blessed.
I see you over there, man. You dripping, dog.
Drip too hard.
Is that real
Don't stand too close. You gonna mess around and drop off this way. Yeah, bro. It's Stuck in the Podcast. Welcome. Check it out. And all social media platforms. We at SITM on YouTube. Appreciate y'all checking it out on YouTube, man. Hit that subscribe button, that ringer, so you get automatic updates every time you see a new episode. You know what I'm saying? I want to remind you, this episode is sponsored in partnership with Perfect Office Solution. They provide office space for entrepreneurs in the DMV area. So if you need, dope space, don't have people come to your living room. Be professional. Get you an office space. Hit them up. Let them know we sent you. 10% off SITM Podcast is the promo code. Bruh.
Yes, sir.
It's Sunday, man.
Yeah, man.
2 weeks back, you know what I'm saying? I took a little hiatus. I'm back. Because we got the brothers in the building. We got a special guest in the building, bro. Let them know who we got in the building.
I'm going to do that the same way they did us, so I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Start right here, the big dog.
I go by the name of DJ Earthquake, one of the 4 Africanists from the Africanist Podcast, a.k.a. Tribal Talk.
Mm-hmm. You finished?
Do your thing, brother.
All right. How y'all doing? Stuck in the middle. It's your boy, Dr. Fanbase, 1/4 of the Africanist Podcast. We are missing 2 of our brothers, Yah on the Moon and King Midi.
Shout out to Yah on the Moon and King Midi one time, man. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't be here. We bumped. But nah, y'all bring the energy every time y'all come around, man.
Thank you so much.
A little fatigued today, but we can make it happen.
Yeah, this man just had a all-nighter last night. Yeah, the gig. That DJ life.
Oh, were you in the building?
He just told me about it.
I just told him about
it.
Well, I know Reflex. He said you are dripping. You are looking like The Rock back in the days.
Hey, yo, I feel like I wore the wrong drip, man. You about to fry me.
No. I'm giving you accolades.
I appreciate it.
I like your
I want all the accolades.
I even like your Gucci bandana.
But let's start it off. Let's start. This is going to be all night. Let's start it off like this. I remember one time me and AK were actually driving back from Michigan. Because he used to live in Michigan. And shout out to my man Hans. He was like, this is like 5 years ago.
Hans in Cali, right?
Yeah, Hans in Cali. This is like 5-6 years ago. He was like, yo, we got to listen to this podcast. You know what I'm saying? I know this dudes, they're killing it. So he put John. It was, what was it called first before the Africanist? Tribal Talk. So he put that joint, and it's a 6-8 hour drive. We listened to that joint for like 6 hours straight. Cause
appreciate the love.
Yeah,
appreciate the love.
That's how I first found out about y'all.
For real?
Yeah, man.
I never expected it.
Appreciate the love.
How did that come about? You know what I'm saying? How did that whole Africanist Tribal Talk come through?
And how long has it been in existence?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was driving. I used to work for Mercedes-Benz, and I was driving to work one day, and I was listening to podcasts. I was listening to Jamel Hill, Michael Smith at the time, Brilliant Idiots, and there was another podcast, Combat Jack. And I told myself, I can do this. No experience, haven't really done all. When it comes to sound, all I know is DJ sound, and I do sound for church. So I was just like, no experience, but I can do this. Popped in the group chat 8:30 in the morning. Hey, look, I'm starting a podcast. If y'all like, join me. If not, don't join me. I'm doing a podcast.
Like that.
And, it just so happens that Dr. Femdizzle, King Midi, and Yah on the Moon was just like, I'm in. And it's been like that. In October will be 5 years.
Yeah, they OGs in this thing, man.
Yeah, man, but I got to ask, what country you from?
I'm from Ghana.
And
I am from Great Nigeria.
I knew he was going to come with something like that.
Great Nigeria.
Hold on. Take a step back real quick. and the others.
Oh, King Midi is also from Nigeria, and Yah on the Moon is also from Ghana.
Yep.
So how did you guys start this group chat? Because it came from a group chat, right? How did you guys get together first?
Yeah, it all started from Frostburg, and a few of our relationships post-Frostburg. But majority of us in the group were from Frostburg State University, so that was a way of us keeping in contact. And that was all King Midi's idea. He was the one that, found Group Me and created it for us and all of that. And so, we pieced it all together, and that's how we stayed in communication. That's how we were able to, we didn't have to do the phone tag game. Oh, hit this person up, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Everything would be put in the group chat. If we wanted to make a move or something like that. So that's how.
What was the original idea? Like, what I'm saying? Were y'all like, we're just gonna talk about whatever, or it was like, let's talk about pop culture or whatever.
Yeah, I think we just always wanted to discuss whatever, because I'm pretty sure y'all got a group chat, and y'all group chat probably lit as a mug. Yeah, man. Like, it's probably unfiltered. You know what I'm saying? It might be better. I think group chat conversations probably better than when you come on air because you speak your mind, you speak your truth.
Yeah.
So we just was having so much fun topics or conversations, and we have such unique perspectives that we was like, man, we like first generation Africans in America. So that's a lane that we feel like there was an absence that we could kind of lend our voices to. So that was how what we was thinking, like, yo, we can just discuss any topic for real.
For sure.
Yeah, and it's like energy is the same. I feel like y'all group chat is the same energy I bring on air.
Why go from the Africanist to on the tribal talks to Africanist or vice versa? Like,
I think there's still some semblance of it. We haven't fully removed ourselves from it, but we've always, over the past 2 years, we've been addressed as the Africanist Podcast. And I think that's attributed to the branding and essentially, and how at a point, even though we were still doing podcasts weekly, a lot of our events stuck out. For example, our staple event, Sip Pain and Afrobeats, 2 years running. 2 events running, but done in 2 years. Something that is,
I heard that jump a lit.
It's a different experience. I'm not a bragger, so I can't really just be like,
I had
you know what I'm saying.
Schedules. I missed the last one.
But if you're prepared to experience
what goes down,
what goes down,
Bibs,
stay tuned.
Bibs and artistry.
Tell me what goes down in this film.
I mean, just think of Africa. Just think of Wakanda. How beautiful the scenery was. It was a lot of happiness. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. It's positive vibes.
For sure.
People from different countries.
Enough food for you to take home too.
The food is sweet.
I gotta ask though, being that you're 4 men, how do you guys balance each other?
Women. Women supporters.
Women supporters.
Yeah.
Man, put the women aside.
No,
dead serious. Like, I mean, our women supporters are and our women planners are the reason why the event is the way it is.
I think what you alluding to, like, how do we deal with each other? Like, because like male ego.
Oh, my bad. That's my bad. That's my bad.
Man, I don't like to toot my own on my brothers, but I feel like, I mean, you have to kind of understand each other's personalities. So when you understand each other's personalities, you know how to communicate with this person might be different than how you address this person. And then it has to probably be some compromise, some sacrifice, because you as you're still an individual. Like, it's 4 individuals because it's 4 of us coming together, right? So you might have certain perspectives or certain views on certain things, but you got to put the team or the brand first before your own personal self. So I think that's really what it is. You just got to be mindful that, I mean, I might see things one way, but if 3 other people are feeling like this, then we got to go with that. So I think that's what it is.
Yeah. As far as, like, so you mentioned women. I see, like, you guys have a strong supporting from women, and that's how you've been able to keep the brand going.
We love women.
How did y'all attain that first, and how do you, maintain? Is it what y'all talk about, or just the energy that y'all exude?
No, I think if you pay attention to numbers and you pay attention to social media and specifically Twitter, you can sprinkle in Instagram there too. Women are known to be very, very supportive. It does not matter what it is. Her girlfriend could just be starting a light stand business. She gonna market the light stand business as if she's the originator of it.
Right.
That's just how women operate, that I've noticed. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, they themselves buy into the product to the point where it's just like, if you're not into the product, you're last place right now. So women have a different type of support when it comes to it. Fellas, we're more like silent backers. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my man doing this. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna cop something. I'm gonna throw. If he doing a t-shirt, I'm gonna cop it, put it on. You know what I'm saying? Take a flick for him, tag him, all of that. You know what I'm saying? But we do it silently. So like we'll keep buying behind the scenes, but we won't say nothing publicly. Women have no problem saying anything publicly.
I mean, that's a typical stuck in middle question though. For somebody, you know what I'm saying, looking to, you know, put out something, merch, now market something, how do you attain that, you know, demographic and, you know, so that your business can thrive kind of thing? How do y'all do it?
Well, I would say our approach has always been the genuine approach and not the forceful approach either. Right. And sometimes it could be looked at as a gift and a curse, because if you're not overly aggressive, you probably won't get to where you want to go to. But if you are, you know, slightly aggressive and patient in the same breath, you may get to the end point, but just a little bit slower than somebody who's like, you know, really pushy and all of that. Right. So I think for us, we've given the luxury to others to like, okay, check us out. If you like it, come back, give us an honest review, and then we move on from there. Most times we probably don't even have to say anything. They just keep coming back. Right. They will sit down with us at maybe a private event where we're not even doing anything about podcasts. Maybe we're there for a birthday dinner or something like that. Oh, I listened to this last podcast. I don't agree with Dr. Femdes on this. I don't agree with Y'all on the Moon on this. Quake. Okay, sometimes, but you know, whatever. You know, it's just a matter of
Quake be tripping.
Yeah, I get that too. So, you know,
why you feel like he be tripping though?
It's like, nah. I mean, you know, hey man, I feel like I'm the only one that don't be tripping for real, you know. But he definitely Quake be tripping because you know, if y'all listen to Africanist Podcast, I like how you sing, by the way, because you know me and King Mitty, we always sing. Y'all on the Moon be backing us up. This man don't never want to sing, man. You know what I'm saying?
They be starting to join up with
some
songs.
He think he too cool to sing.
No, not true.
Yeah, I just make a song. He'll play it at one of his gigs.
You know what I'm saying? And I guess going back to what y'all said about, you know, women and stuff, I just feel as though it's just their nature. Men, maybe if it's like sports, or they be like, oh, yeah, I'll go to my man game, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, you know, most men, they don't like to really express themselves, and that's what podcast is. You know, doing a lot of talking, unless you're talking about, man, the Redskins drafted this person or Steph Curry playing. Other than that, you know, most men, a lot of times, they not ready to talk about, you know, maybe some vulnerable stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is.
Y'all mentioned a lot of women listen to your podcast and stuff, and
we are sex symbols.
DJ No. But nah, who was the latest man in the group? Because definitely, I mean, there's somebody who was pulling this ladies to your podcast, man. Who do y'all think was the latest man?
You try to drive a wedge now.
DJ Earthquake. Let me tell y'all something, man.
Who got a girl? Who don't got a girl?
Not me, not I.
Hey, DJ Earthquake.
I mean, yes, I do have a lady, but I'm saying in terms of.
You better not deny your lady on this Sunday.
In terms of who's bringing the ladies, is this guy.
Man, let me tell y'all something, man. I'm a man of God, you know what I'm saying? You know, I love Jesus. So, like, you know, I'm a homebody, you know. Ladies, they don't see me out on the streets, so how can I be bringing the ladies? I'm no Reflex. I don't own $500 shirts.
My brother,
I don't drip. I don't have Gucci bandana. Look at you, bro.
Look at you.
You tatted it up.
Man, what's the rolly, dog?
Man, that's not even a rolly, but whatever. You got like 3, 4, 5 pinky rings, bro.
He said 3, 4, 5. Only one finger. You know? So y'all been doing this for like 5, 6 years now. 5 years.
5 years in October.
What's the, if you look at, you know what I'm saying, like, I'm sure y'all pay attention to the Matrix and all that. What's the one episode that, you know what I'm saying, or episodes, couple that have drawn, you know, like, the most attention?
Roz Nebu was our one that took us over the.
For people who don't know, who's that?
He's a local DMV artist from Ethiopia. Mm-hmm. He's dope. He was our first, and he's still to this day our highest episode ever. Ironically, though, a lot of the episodes that actually don't feature people are kind of the highest. One of the highest.
People just love hearing.
I think last time I checked, it was either 5 or 7, but it was a groomsman talk, and we talked about how we as men feel if. You know, we kind of took it in the position of women, because I know that's something that, or we've heard that's something that they, you know, taking personal if you're not put on the bridal party or even invited to the, you know what I'm saying? For us, some of us was like, yeah, we care, yeah, we don't care, but we were also taking the standpoint of when it becomes too expensive for your
I mean one right now. My pocket's
Bro,
running dry.
that me up.
My pocket's running dry.
Where, is it here or destination?
Bro, he going groom the party, the groom's party, destination, the day before destination. I'm like, bro, like,
we in the same boat.
I'm like, bro,
how much you dropping? Put him out. Put him on
it's
black.
probably like $2K right now.
Oh, dang. Okay, mine was like $1,900, but that's without the destination flight. That's just the outfit.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to drop out this wedding.
You know what I'm saying? We was
That's exactly
we
what
was
I'm
like,
doing.
damn,
We
bro.
still got like 4 months to go. You can find another person.
Nah, don't worry. Just walk overtime.
Can I ask y'all fellas a question?
Yeah, shoot.
How would y'all feel if how would you feel, bro, if Reflex don't put you on as a groomsman? How you gonna act, bro? Would you say
I would be hurt if you don't put me in his wedding. I would be legit hurt.
I could care less.
If I don't put you in my wedding,
Yeah, it don't matter.
that's how you feel, bro.
I'm still gonna be there though. I'm still gonna be there. I mean, it's even less work for me because then I could drink more or I could stuff like that. So I don't gotta be responsible. I'm just saying,
I'll be
But
legit hurt. Like I would take it like personal.
Why is that?
He's my brother, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I look forward. Like I be planning. You know what I'm saying? Like especially best man. If I'm the best man of that job, my brother, man, I'm gonna make sure you right.
me, make you my best man.
Yeah, man.
I want everybody to sleep.
What you mean, fam?
So do you think he's no longer your bro if you're not in his wedding party?
I'm gonna pull up and like I'm not gonna be as happy as I would be if
Nah, man, it's not that deep, bro. Like it's really not that deep because
That was
at
a
the end of the
conversation we
day,
had.
I mean, at the end of the day, you know the love I have for you. So what's the big deal?
It's just like you're not thinking about me. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I'm saying. When we in a group, you got to understand each person's perspective. That's their reality.
Right.
So you don't care, but he does.
I would say I'm in the happy middle. I think I kind of conveyed that in the pod. Something I care.
It
really
depends.
Honestly, as long as I'm there, cool.
I got a question.
If they don't invite you,
If they don't invite me, if they don't invite me, then we probably have to square up. And
I mean, like,
call a friendship quits.
I mean, for me, it's like
and it's one of them joints is invite only, not open invite.
That's fine. There's always a let out.
that's crazy. If you don't make me your like part of your wedding, but then you turn around and say, "Yo, could you be at the door, or could you make sure that people are well seated and stuff like
Security?
that?" I'll be mad at you. I'm just saying. That's when I'll be mad at you.
So
but if I pull
You don't
up,
invite me, then I come be security. Are you mad?
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. Well, being part of the wedding, actually, I personally don't like that because that means I have to, spend and all that stuff.
facts.
Yeah, man.
It's a
just,
sacrifice.
Just tell me, yo, put up for the alcohol on the food, and I'll be like, yo, I got you. But then don't tell me to go buy suits and all that stuff because then I have to dress like everybody else now. Forget that.
So what was the idea behind incorporating guests? Because I know y'all didn't start, with having guests.
So we started off wanting to telling our own stories, and then we realized that there's a lot more first generation Africans, Caribbeans, and Black Americans that have stories to tell of their evolution, whether it be business wise, personal wise, nonprofit wise, whatever the case may be. We were like, we can't be selfish and just keep it within a certain culture. So we've branched out. We've made the necessary connections, and we here.
I think
I was stuck in the middle. You made it to tell your mother.
I don't think have we had a Anglo-Saxon.
Well, the way you talk about them on the pod, I don't think they're ever gonna come.
I talk about them all the time, but
There's no episode.
we haven't had. Well, no, we have. I was gonna say we haven't had a Latino, but we had the brothers from the PMB pod, and he's Afro Latino, and he's Panamanian.
Yeah.
So I take that.
We exclusive, you know what I'm saying?
So,
But nah,
on the African, distance.
every time I listen to an Africanist podcast, right? Dr. Fim Disney is always going back and forth with damn, I forget his name.
is it Yao?
Yeah. You guys always have like this contradicting views and stuff and that. Like I'm waiting for an earthquake to like tie together.
Yeah.
At some point, do you just say, yo, you know what? I'm not gonna pick it, or I'm just gonna stand my grounds, or is it that you just naturally neutral?
Naturally, I try because I'm not the type of person to. Oh, I'm with this person. I'm picking. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things in life where if you pick a side and I pick a side, I'm staying there. I'm not moving from that side. But in certain things, when it comes to like conversations, like most of their arguments is about how LeBron James is portrayed in the media. I can agree and I can disagree. You know what I'm saying? And I can also agree and disagree on, how Dr. Fem Dizzle feels about, suits and sneakers, and y'all could just, like there's certain things that I'm just not gonna pick a side on. I'm just be naturally neutral. But
y'all agree when y'all talk about insecure.
Insecure for sure.
Of course, we part of the Lawrence High.
We part of Lawrence High all day. Best Buy was good. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to things like for example, when it comes time to talk about this Avengers Endgame, I know we gonna have some
Tony died.
Come on, bro. You can't.
I mean,
I don't really care.
I'm the only.
I don't really care. I don't mind spoiling. To me,
by the time they hear this, it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Do you have the link?
Hey, yo, you gonna get us off the air, bro?
Don't worry.
God, I haven't seen it. Everybody, I'm the type of, I don't care. Spoil it for me. If Tony dies, I will still watch. I don't know. Did he die at 55 minutes? Let me watch the movie.
So how y'all care?
Oh, you haven't seen the movie.
How y'all care about spoilers, stuff like that?
I don't care.
I personally don't care about spoilers. Yeah. You can spoil it for me. I still see it differently. But others, they
be getting mad.
King Mitty and Yao, they ready to fight off of spoiling.
Even some like y'all watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Even some they be like, I be asking people like last week I didn't watch it at 9:00, and I'm texting people, hey man, what happened? They're like, no. I'm like, I'm asking you already watched it. Spoil it for me. I don't care.
I watch it though.
Yeah, like I don't like suspense. I want to know.
Man, why y'all see the Africanists in the next 5 years?
Cheat. Honestly, I see us being on syndicated radio.
Talk your talk.
There is a void on the station. 93.9, 92 kill. Why? They are starting to now play African music. They be playing. I was just about to say, they play fall like every 5 songs.
I'm tired of that, Jordan.
You know what I'm saying? Like Americans love fall like a mug. But yeah, like you can see the trends. Netflix be now having African movies. You seeing the culture infusion, the acceptance. Shout out to Black Panther. Now they know they can't. They must give us the chance and the voice that we need. So hopefully, we can be one of those voices. I also stuck in the middle.
Facts, yeah.
Yes.
My answer might be a little bit long-winded, but it gets to a certain point. I'm getting to a point, so bear with me while I get to it. Right. So 5 years from now, right? If we're projecting, paying attention to how streaming is moving and all of that, I do see podcasts moving into AM, FM radio. However, the way things are going, if we take it just like music, there's a lot of nonsense. So you're gonna have a lot of 25, 30-minute podcasts that eventually is gonna have to assume the role of doing like maybe a 2-hour pocket on actual radio. Mm-hmm. Can that be done? So there's gonna be a lot of questions and a lot of testing within that industry. And only the strong can really survive. Can you hold a conversation and attention for more than 2 hours? You know what I'm saying? And now that you have to include breaks and sponsors and all of that jazz, can you still keep people on your radio station? Because that's how AM and FM radio work. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? To the best of my knowledge from all the information I'm reading. It's not like Sirius radio where you can just go, whatever, and then you do 30 minutes of music, and then you come back and you talk, interview, whatever the case may be. So there's going to be a shift where there's going to be an influx of a lot of podcasts being done. There's going to be a lot of transformation from AM, FM radios to podcasts like they're doing now. If you pay attention to TV, most of the sports shows are podcasts that they just, take the audio from the show without the video part of it and put it on a podcast. So there's going to be a lot of that, but how it's going to be filtered out is where the issue is going to come into play. But I believe Africanists as a whole, we can get to that point where we're the pioneers of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I firmly believe that we haven't hit our stride yet in terms of actual trajectory to our maximum goal, just because there's a bigger play happening that we probably don't even know yet. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I think we can go in for the next 5 years, maybe even at the 3-year mark between that 5 years.
Long-winded indeed.
But now, hold on. Let me ask you this though. Thing that you said, we're in a microwave generation right now, where
Yes.
you have to tailor everything to the listeners or the end users' needs.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, how do you?
Everybody
Like,
wants it short and quick.
exactly.
Even her.
Even who?
Her.
Who's her?
The musicians.
No, not the musicians. The listeners know what I'm talking about.
Oh.
Anyways, moving on. Where was I even going with that?
You were saying it was microwave.
Yeah, microwave generation, right? So, being that is that way, do you think that you like the Africanist, right, or even stuck in the middle? Do you think that you have to tailor your episodes down so more?
Negative.
You will, in a sense. For example, y'all watch sports. I remember when Stephen A. Smith kept it so real and was like, look here, we was talking about domestic violence. He was like, yo, I get it. Domestic violence is bad. Most of the abusers are men. But in some cases, women can be an abuser. I'm a mental health therapist. I've seen women domestic violence abusers. So that's actual facts. Now we also have to keep into consideration that socioeconomic status plays a factor into domestic abuse or even violence. So when you're in the hood or y'all seen maybe women being the aggressor. So he was speaking to that on national TV with white audiences, millionaires, billionaires, all these sponsors, Disney. So they not trying to hear that. They view abusers as black men. Don't tell them that a white woman can be an abuser. They don't want to hear it. So a lady that worked on the same network, Michelle Beadle, she went at him talking about, well, I've been a victim of it. I don't want to hear you saying that women can instigate this. So they ended up, he had to apologize, and they suspended him for like a week
and a half.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, yo, pretty much you can't say your truth when you get to that level, because it's like you said, you dealing with sponsors. So like, in a sense, you gotta factor in the sponsors, because they paying the bills. So it's like you can't really be like, yeah, man, I can't be saying Anglo-Saxons because they Anglo. You know what I'm saying? I can't. Even on BET, like, don't a white person on BET? So it's just those things that sometimes I don't want. I tell my I don't want to be famous, man, because these are things you gotta deal with.
So at the end of the day, is you saying that you gonna cater to that or no?
I would try my best to still be myself, but watch my words in how I articulate. So therefore, instead of saying, white people smell like dogs, I'm not going to say that, because that's my opinion.
But there's some.
Which,
what you're saying it is like it's true, but
I will articulate and
white people need a shower.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes
just don't use shampoo. See,
don't be so musty.
And the reason why I can say a statement like that is because I went to Frostburg State University. I've seen white men just use shampoo for shower, and that's it.
Some don't even shower, bro.
That too. But to go back to your original question, so I think in terms of your speech within the podcast and in any platform, yes, you have to be conscious, because how we talk in a group chat where we can talk in jest and not be serious, and understand that that's not how it reflects out there in the world, right? But the only thing I don't think that can be or should be compromised in this microwave society is duration of content.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask.
Sometimes it's okay. Rather wait an additional hour for my jollof to be prepared correctly than to go to Giant and get the package one where I can do in 15 minutes.
Thanks.
I would much rather feel the love in the cooking than feel the short end of it. You know what I'm saying? At a point in time, even when you're cooking, you can't. If you rush it, you could probably get salmonella, depending on what you're eating. You know what I'm saying? If you don't bake your cake right, you probably gonna have a bunch of dough. You know what I'm saying? So it's all a part of something.
Right.
There's certain things, yes, that can be quick, right? But there's also things that need to be long, so that you or stretched out so that you can enjoy it the right way. And sometimes some content is meant to do that. Insecure can be 30 minutes. Power got to be an hour. Game of Thrones can be 50 minutes or an hour.
2 hours.
1 hour 30 minutes.
Sorry.
Thank you very much.
Sorry. But sorry, the longest award, whatever, right? But you know, something else can be 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like any sports show can be 30 minutes. So it all depends on what you want and what you need. And I think most people are beginning to realize that, even though they know that they want things a lot quicker.
Yeah. Let me ask you, you know what I'm saying, yeah, working man as well. How do you balance, you know what I'm saying, the workplace and, you know, 5 to 9, 9 to 5, and, you know, this recording, and also being 4 people.
And mind you, one person is all the way in Cali, man. There's that time difference. So
yeah. It's been a challenging 2 years with that. There's been job progression. There's been life hiccups. Despite it all, you know what I'm saying.
Breakups, heartbroken, some.
I don't know if that's floats your boat. I can't say that for all of us. But you know, the one thing I stress, me personally, this is me talking, not me talking on top of the podcast. I stress transparency. I don't really hide too much from my people. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I have a gig and I have to work, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I would be having to do some networking stuff for my job, finish that, go to a gig, finish the gig, wake up early in the morning so we can record or whatever the case may be. It is what it is. It's just a sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not afraid to let my people know this is what's going on right now. Can we adjust, whatever the case may be? And even, for example, me being transparent too, sometimes y'all on the moon be like, yo, bro, I'm tired from work. Can we do another day? All right, cool. To me, as long as you are flexible and this is what you want to do, there's nothing that can't be done. There's always a way if you want there to be a way.
Yeah,
and then Dr. Femdizzle will tell us 30 minutes before he's not coming. Then you know.
Yeah, you know, I'm more of a carefree, free-spirited, no stress type of brother. So you know, I just feel like, yo, man, we gonna get it done. That's how I approach my education as well. Like, man, I guess you can call me a procrastinator. So you know, like I was that dude that would not study until maybe
11:59.
The day before. You know, I'd be up all night, and sometimes I get carried away with the world because a lot of things happen in the world, and I just be in the chat. I'm like, oh, we recording at this time? I might be like 30 minutes. I'd be like, all right, bet I'll be there. Or if something is really happening, I'm like, I can't make it, man. You know, but the beauty of life is 4 of us. Kind of like now it's only 2 of us representing. You know what I'm saying? So that's the beauty of having like multiple team members. And I'm like, it'd be legit reasons if I can't make it. I feel like, you know, the audience be all right.
Nah, the girls need to hear you.
Nah, they don't need me. They got this guy right here, you know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they be all right. Just like, you know, at your 9 to 5s, you know, sometimes things come up. And you gonna let your supervisor know, hey, bruh, or hey, man, I can't come. I'll be there tomorrow though. So
I will admit though, we've all sacrificed, all of us from our respective 9 to 5s to make it.
Hey, that's what it
to make it
about,
for
man.
a pod. It's depending on the guests. You know what I'm saying?
That's a passionate
man.
podcast.
I remember when we had Pop Smith Sabansu on.
Yeah, he's the general manager of the Wizards G League.
Yeah,
and he said
everybody
that
play a schedule.
He said that. Yo, I'm free at 2:00 this day. Everybody.
I
said what? Oh.
Yo,
all right, bet.
I think I left work at like noon. I had clients. I'm like, yeah, can you reschedule? I forgot what I told my supervisor, but
you had to make that happen.
I had to, man.
What?
That's when you go to work. You see the text. You're like, I'm sick. I think I'll feel good.
Yep.
I gotta go home.
Man, y'all got any episodes that didn't see the daylight?
Yes, quite a few. Last week's. Actually, was it last week's?
Oh, that was like last week.
Okay.
Some of it was.
Yeah. Okay. So
the beginning was.
So I would say 2019 technology-wise, has not been our best friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, originally we were at a studio before. We lost it. We lost.
Ooh, that's the worst.
We lost an entire pod that we recorded. We've lost bits and pieces of podcasts. My computer has shut down after recording an entire podcast.
You've been watching porn, man. You know what I'm saying?
This guy.
Pornography.
We recorded with Ashun, the from Ashun Productions. She came on. We recorded a full hour and 15 with her. My laptop saved it, but only the last 30 minutes of the conversation was clear. Everything else was nonsense and jumbled up.
I think it was that singing, man. That's singing too.
Dang, that's what you just question your whole
So it's there's been quite a few episodes that we've lost, but thankfully, but thankfully most of the episodes that we lost were only us. Mm. They weren't. There was only this one time that this year was the one we had. The 2 times this year was because of we had guests, but most of the other times we lost it because it was us, and we were able to, take a break, come back and redo it. But outside of that, we've definitely lost some content.
We've and mourned.
But ones that we did that wasn't lost. I remember when we initially started, we did a joint on Ray Rice.
Oh, they would never see the light of day.
Yeah.
Why not?
I'm about to hack that jump.
Apparently, we was too raw. I want to release.
We weren't too raw.
I want to release.
We were cautious, but slightly clueless. And if we released it in this day and age, we would get chewed out probably.
And then, granted,
but we weren't. It's not like we were defending him. It's that we were questioning so many things.
Oh yeah, a lot of girls going
just questioning. Unsubscribe. And it's not. And this was around the time I think where Stephen A's comments that he mentioned earlier was happening. It was just like almost like we weren't saying anything offensive, but the questions that we were asking can lead to somebody being offended.
Y'all should have a live event and discuss some stuff like that.
That all the R. Kelly stuff. It's crazy.
Trying to get us killed.
Nah, it's crazy.
I mean, the audience is gonna be, you know what I'm saying, like the talk.
They're gonna be the one giving their opinion.
They're not gonna be behind it. You know what I'm saying? The phones being cancel culture. They're gonna be right then and there.
Listen,
we can squash.
You agree on one condition. He's going to be the MC.
I will be there.
I will like that.
I will come with drip.
I must perform.
I will perform. Come with drip so I can snatch some of them and go.
Hey, I will be your wingman.
But I was gonna. How do y'all secure guests? How do you reach out to get a guest? Because y'all have some heavy hitters come through.
Surprisingly, a lot of them actually come to us.
That's dope. Yeah. It's just that it speaks to that repetition and that.
It just so happens that we would say, we would do something. Sometimes we would just put something on the pod, and it just so happens somebody heard it and sent it to the person, and then boom.
A woman heard it.
Huh?
A woman heard it.
Probably. So for ironically, with Ashun, our boy Moneybags, and this young lady that we met at this Afro food conversation. She was doing publicist work. She was just like, "Oh, I know these podcast guys." She hasn't been on yet. She heard of us once. Mm-hmm. She was just like, "Oh, I'm trying to bring somebody onto your podcast." Set it up like that. So there's been instances like that, and there's some other instances where we were just like right place, right time. Mm-hmm. So for example, we did Crystal Gardner. She won the T.I. Grand Hustle show. Yeah. She was at the last.
We did the Lawrence.
No, we did
Insecure Watch
the first
Party.
Episode, Insecure Watch Party with Ebo Girls Brunch.
Yeah.
She just happened to be there. She heard me DJing. She liked that DJing. Yao and Dr. Fem Dizzle was, chopping it up. After she won, she was like, "I want to come on the podcast." Say less, sis.
Right.
Yeah,
whenever you're ready, sis.
Thanks.
So since we have Ghana, representing, Nigeria representing, I cannot leave this without asking this question, man. Who got the best jollof though? Man.
How about we ask y'all? Because y'all already know we
Cameroon, man. Don't ask me that kind of question.
No, between Nigeria and Ghana. Have y'all had?
There's a spot. There's a spot in Manhattan. You got the best jollof, Senegalese jollof.
Yeah, we
that's
get that.
We get that.
But we saying like between Nigeria,
between Ghana and Nigeria. I gotta go with Ghana.
Because you went with Ghana, I'll go with Nigeria.
Why you gotta go?
I don't know what Ghana jollof tastes right, man. I don't know.
You never had?
I've never had it.
Have you
I've had Nigerian jollof. I've had Ghana jollof. Ghana jollof is better.
Who's the one that made you Ghana jollof? Was it your ex-girlfriend?
Something like that. But I've had it in like, you know what I'm saying, like a home setting, restaurant setting, food tasting, you know what I'm saying, like competition setting. Ghana comes out on top, man.
Okay. I respect your gangster. You know, you are your drip, but I agree to disagree.
Now,
Yeah.
what advice you guys have for those who trying to, you know, follow your, you know, footsteps? And I'm talking podcasting.
Yeah.
Man, for me, I mean, like I don't feel like we are nothing yet to be doing all that advice. But what I'll say is,
Stop being humble, man.
The
Africanist Podcast is out here, bro. Y'all doing things, man.
I'm being for real. This is really how I be feeling. Like I really don't. But however, this is the age where this the right time to start it. Actually, I was just talking to one of my homegirls 2 days ago, and she was telling me like, yo, she's thinking about starting a podcast. She's in Dallas. I was like, yo, go for it. Like, you know what I'm saying? She wants to do like about relationships. Just know, like, you know, what you want to talk about. Stay true to yourself. Hopefully, you like have a you have a voice that you're not afraid to like share with the people. Probably get a right people, right team. No, we fortunate because DJ Earthquake, he's good with all the equipment, so a lot of that stuff he handles. So, and you have to stay consistent.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Don't just be like, all right, I'm gonna drop one today, and then I'm busy. I can't. You have to constantly, you know, maintain that consistency. Whether if your routine is every 2 weeks, bi-weekly, do that. If it's every week, do that. If it's once a month, I mean, people might forget, you know what I'm saying? But if that's what flows your boat, if you got enough cachet, do that too. But just remain consistent. You know?
If you're not willing to be not paid or not get paid for some time,
Facts.
this ain't for you. Just keep it 100. I've helped a lot of people start off their podcast, give them, you know, this is just, you know, how to go about things, the structure, like, you know, just giving them a detailed outline as to how to go about their podcast. So there's quite a few podcasts that I've some of the things that they do, you know, have come from things that I've mentioned to them. You know, going forward, that probably might be a business for DJ Horker, but we know we're gonna leave that there.
You know,
Podcast consultants.
But if you're not willing to do it free for a few years and like sacrifice not only time, your money, be patient, have people cancel on you, you know, lose episodes. This ain't for you. This is not what's gonna float your boat. It's not what's gonna make you happy. It's not gonna make you stress free. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're a person that, you know, deals with stress quite often. So my simple advice to you is, this is a marathon, not a sprint.
All my life.
I don't care how fast you run.
That's a price.
I don't care how fast you run or what type of car you drive. You could drive a Lamborghini, still got to put gas in it to go. Right. So you know what I'm saying.
I drive a Tesla.
You drive a Tesla, you still got to get your car charged at a supercharger. You feel me? So you gotta take your time, man. Like this is literally this is a marathon, because people will lose faith in you and then find faith in you again. That has happened to us countless times. You know what I'm saying? We've lost listeners where we've had a stretch of we didn't even do the numbers that we were supposed to do.
Facts.
We don't know what happened. Maybe it was God's divine team that came on the
podcast. One where you drop, you like, this going pop.
Yeah. And we looked at it like,
yo, we've had. I'm like, man, we recorded. I'm like, yo, this is fire. And then we looking like, where
the people wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? We've had L's like that. Yeah. And people use those type of L's to get discouraged. I'm just like, yo, you just look to me. I'm already ready for pot. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever it is. I know the thing is, and this is again, I'm being long-winded. Sorry, but you know, when it comes to this game, this podcast game, this audio game, whether it's DJ, whatever the case may be, you're only as good as your last episode. I still got a lot to prove to people as an individual. But then now I got 3 other people with me. So I got to make sure I'm on my game 24/7. Nobody can say to me though you're not on your game, because then, you know, you can only say that to me if the work doesn't show, and if the work doesn't show, then we got work to do. But if the work shows, then it's gonna pay off eventually. You got to put in your 10,000 hours somewhere.
Man, this is one of those parts where you chop up from motivation, throw some music on it. You was spitting bars.
Hey, for y'all listening, I ain't got nothing to prove to none of y'all. Y'all don't pay my bills. Y'all can kiss my ass. My bad.
You dropped the mic right there. But you know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
You know,
man.
before we wrap it up, I don't know, you know.
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna ask. AK had a question in there. This is like a vague question. What does it mean to be
47?
What does it mean to be African? You know what I'm saying? This year 2019.
You gotta start respecting my name, man.
Uncle
I'm telling
AK.
you. Yeah, thank you.
What it means to be African? Man, I can cry when I answer this. And guess what? I'm still a man when I cry.
Please cry.
I don't
Maybe
give
they'll
a
think
damn.
I have a
Yeah,
soft spot.
man.
You know,
mental health professional. It's
Exactly.
okay to cry.
I want to promote this. Men, please, just be human being, because that's who you are. But what it means to be African, man, it means you just rich. You rich of knowledge. You rich of culture. Like, and no money can buy that. Like, real talk. Like, yo, we full of love. You know what I'm saying? We've been colonized, brutalized, all the lies, and we still here, and we still making things happen, bruh. Like, we find a way. Like, we don't make excuses. We just roll with the punches, and we still rise to the top. Look at you, brothers. Look at this room. Well, I mean, I wasn't born in America. My parents wasn't born in America, but guess what? We've done well, and we ain't stopping. That's what it means to be an African, man. You full of motivation, wisdom, knowledge, and like I say, even when you're going through things, you taking it in stride. You can't. There's nothing better than an African.
Facts, man.
Gee.
He dropped the mic.
I'm supposed to go now. I think in 2019 I think year by year, if I'm to be semi accurate, let's take from 2014 to present, right? Being African every year up until this point has dramatically and drastically changed for the better. It went from dashikis to actually people really wanting to go back home in this like 5 year time span. It went from actually seeing a film on the big screen that had some type of semblance of Africa. Now people dress like that to go to see the movie. You know what I'm saying? So progressively, there's things that are changing. You know what I'm saying? There's an expansion of music appreciation in Africa. So being African is that even though it's a slower process, the open-mindedness of an African is beginning to grow. People are understanding their culture more. People are understanding food more. You know what I'm saying? People are understanding how to, in the words that we've been using all day, how to drip better. You know what I'm saying? So there's a level of growth, you know, within Africans as a whole that is spreading out across the nation, no matter where you go. You know what I'm saying? And that's a beautiful thing. So I would say being African in 2019 is an extension of true branches. It just keeps growing and spreading.
Reflex.
Yes, sir.
You did. I fear you.
My brother.
What you did watch over there?
I did watch. Yeah, I just snapped. But yeah, that was inspirational, man.
I fear that.
That was inspirational. Man, listen, these brothers has been, you know what I'm saying, like killing it in the podcast
man.
game. You know what I'm saying? OGs in this thing. Like I said, man, from that day when I heard y'all in the car to this day, you know, heavy supporter, and y'all just keep growing, and man, it's beautiful to see. It's inspirational.
Make sure you go download some Veggie Dream, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I gotta do that. See, look here in the
You know what I'm saying?
But
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, you know, who y'all feeling right now?
yeah, in the music wise.
Who y'all feeling right now? That's cool.
African or
Yeah, African.
Only African.
Quiet as Kept, one of my favorite I guess he's I guess he's
Quiet escape.
francophone.
Outside Margie.
But he's not all the way out there yet. But he's out there. I like Loco a lot.
That's the
Is it
first.
Loco?
Cameroonian is good. I know it. Loco.
Loco. I like him a lot. Stoneboy, Shatta Wale.
The beefas.
In terms, that's crazy too. But in terms of, I've been going back. I would say I had an issue with R&B, so I haven't really been up to date with the R&B that's out.
You tripping?
Hey DJ, you have to play for the ladies.
No, I do. No, but it's just that I feel like the R&B now is just too. It was trash. It's not what it's not what it's supposed to be.
R&B now.
You talking about American R&B or African R&B?
American R&B.
Because we got our own R&B too.
Yeah, I know that too. Yeah, and that it's dope too. But American R&B that was my everything. You know what I'm saying? Like I could listen to. The slowest of the slowest jams forever. You know what I'm saying? A yearly mix I drop every year.
She
for lovers only.
But Luther Vandross.
I'm over this.
But yeah. So as in terms of hip hop, I really haven't attached myself to any artists currently.
Lil Baby.
I do like Lil Baby.
Check out Mina, Myna. She's dope.
I've heard Mina. But I've been listening to a lot of female rappers. I've been paying attention to female rappers since Cash Doll first came out. So when I heard first Cash Doll, that was my go-to. But now, who I really like as a female rapper is Meg Thee Stallion. I got only hip to her because she was on Wale's pole dancing song. Yeah. So that's when. But that's a bad chick, Joe.
I only seen her on the
content-wise, she's fire.
I see her on the Shade Room.
She's fire.
Shade Room and Cardi B got.
Shout out H-Town. But I think Cardi B doing her thing too. I think Cardi B is I think she speaks for every woman's inner ratchet. So does Meg Thee Stallion, and I respect it because I feel like that's a side of women that is okay to come out, and the women shouldn't be shamed for that.
Man, for me, I'm a boring individual, man. I'm very boring.
This guy listen to Agatha Moses.
I used to, you know what I'm saying, Sonny Badru and all those. But for Africa, I take it. I like nice, man. Y'all listen to nice.
When I came on in the
nice is my guy, man. But on the R&B tip, I like Adekunle Gold. That's my man.
Pick up.
That's one of his favorite too.
When I
play that every wedding.
I was just about to say when I marry Adekunle, God, please bless my pockets. He can perform. I love that guy that much, man. Yeah. And he stole my babe, Simi. Such a beautiful couple. And when it comes to rapping, hip hop, I like J. Cole. I'm still a Cole fan. I like but Kendrick Lamar. That's my bro. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick, man, that brother, man. DJ Earthquake say he can't get with Kendrick.
That's not true. I said that the fandom that is for Kendrick, I believe that people are just saying it because he's in general conversation he's heralded as the top 5 of this current generation. But a lot of the people don't even know lyrics from any of his albums.
I don't know Jay-Z lyrics. I don't know Nas. I don't know Biggie lyrics. But I know when I listen to them brothers, I be like,
yeah. But I know them and I listen to them. But a lot of people can quote at least a hook or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Most people probably don't be like, oh shoot.
If you enjoy Busta Rhymes, you ain't quoting all of Busta Rhymes, but you know he can rap. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody used to do the part.
Exactly, but you know Busta.
He's not heralded as one of the best though.
I'm just saying, but you just because of his style, and the same thing with Kendrick. But man, Kendrick's songs, just the meanings, period. Man, y'all heard collect calls, and you know what I'm saying, all these things. Kendrick he's just a thug poet, man. My man from Compton. He the greatest out right now.
So who's better, Kendrick or J. Cole?
Oh, King Kendrick, man. And this brother put me on to King Cole. Cole, I love Cole like a mug. I love Chance the Rapper, but Kendrick is in a league of his own. It's like Kobe, Kendrick,
LeBron,
LeBron James.
Sis over here looking at you like, what you talking about?
We're not gonna go there.
She looking at you like, what you talking about?
Hey, hold on. Let me close this way, right? You mentioned you read the No Sex Zone by Flex.
Woo!
What you think about it, man?
No sex in the champagne room. My brother, let me ask you something.
Yes, sir. Why you do this to me, my brother?
No.
Why you do this?
Celibacy?
Yeah. So
What are your thoughts on celibacy?
what are my thoughts? Everybody should be celibate. Yes,
Beautiful.
if you can afford it.
What I'm gonna say is, man, celibacy is a beautiful thing, and this is. I've been joking on pod, so that's how y'all know I'm being serious, cause you know that's a journey that I actually embarked on, and I was like, you know, and you just get to know yourself on a whole different level. However, when you are sexing, it is very pleasurable. So I'm not out here trying to be a hypocrite, or you know what I'm saying, like I don't understand both sides, but because I did embark on that journey for 2 years, and I'm talking about I think I've spoken on this ever on the Africanist, whatever, you know, but I mean
briefly, but you know, no.
Yeah,
but you had a very heated conversation with somebody about it, in the chat,
exactly, and I you remember that, and
yes,
I was because I know both sides. Like I had a conversation with one of our bros. I was like, yo, in those times, I never felt tempted. My mind wasn't on sex. Like I was just on something different. He's like, Femi, I know you. How? There's a girl, right? I'm like, I understand that you can't envision that because you've never experienced it. So I get why you're saying what you're saying, but yeah, celibacy is. I mean, if you're doing it for the right reasons.
What are the right reasons?
I mean, don't do it because you. Niggas ain't shit, or nah, that's foolishness. Because once you meet somebody that you think is shit, then I mean they probably gonna get in them drawers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it has to be a more personal reason why I feel like you know you're doing that. So for me, it was spiritual. Yeah. Faith.
That's good. What you think, man?
So I respect anybody who does.
This is the part where his girl turn on the volume.
I respect anybody who goes on that celibate route. Have I been celibate before? I say by accident, just because it's just like
the women ain't itch.
Nah, it wasn't because of that. It was because literally
the DMs was dry.
Not even the DMs was dry. Because the DMs was strictly business purposes. But
she not mine.
But like. There was a point in time where I was like literally just so focused on just making sure that I myself was, you know, the best person and becoming the better person. Because I used to be very cold-hearted. Like I had no emotions.
Yeah,
like, I was very
used to be
not towards women in general, but just anybody. You know what I'm saying? Anybody. If we having a conversation, I know you lying to me. We have nothing else to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If I felt like you was trying to do me dirty, we have nothing to talk about. If I felt like you disrespected me, we have nothing to talk about. You know, so I was very quick triggered when it came to those type of things. So I made sure as an individual, I still do have some of those semblances, but I made sure as an individual, you know, I got better at that. I started being more cooler. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be a little bit more friendly. You know, so at that time I really wasn't dealing with no lady. I wasn't dealing with. You know, I wasn't making new friends, whatever the case may be. I was just trying to work on bettering friendships with the people I have. You know what I'm saying? So, for a while, like about a year and a half, celibate. You know what I'm saying? Met a nice little young lady. Things didn't work out too well, you know, because of you know, maturity things. But you know,
on your part or her part?
Both. Oh. I was being childish in some aspects too. So, but I would say that I'm not going to say that. Oh, it was. I held a lot of more, and then we were both. You know what I'm saying? People shouldn't. I believe you shouldn't be like, oh, you did half of the immature stuff, so it's all your fault. No, stop it, shut up. So you know, it is what it is. If you had a little part in it, it is what it is.
I've never been immature.
This guy. Can we conclude? To come and lie now.
It reflects all this drip, and you ain't beating no cheeks. All this amount of drip. How do you? Push them in wet.
Hey, we appreciate y'all checking this
tips, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate y'all checking this episode out, man. This has been fun, man. Yeah, appreciate y'all coming.
What do you have to say?
Yeah, what do you have to say to your question?
My question? I mean, for me, it's before, like, I used to laugh at this guy. I'm like, dude, He's celibate, bro. Like, yeah.
7 years, man.
Damn.
Hold on, what?
Bro,
You said 7 years?
yeah.
Damn, bro.
Well,
it's
my
a
bad.
whole
I didn't
different-
send you.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. By the time you
I'm
release, you gonna have like sextuplets, bro.
Bro, I'm gonna send you the article.
7 years, bro. Shout out. Sextuplets, Joe. I fear for the women that's coming in contact with you, Joe. All I'm gonna say is strap up, man. That might even break.
Reflex will send her in a coma. Gee.
Hey yo, read the article though. If y'all checking this out, the article is on sitmpodcast.com. No sex, no sex.
I respect you.
Y'all can follow the Africanist Podcast at Africanist Pod on Instagram and Twitter. You can email us at africanistpodcast@gmail.com. You know what I'm saying? My personal, I'm not on it right now, but you can follow me at It's Earthquake on IG and Twitter. And you know, you can tell them where they can find you at.
Man, y'all can find
free therapy sessions.
Yeah. We'll discuss in the DMs. Y'all can find me at Dr. Femdizzle. That's FEMDIZZLE at Dr. Femdizzle.
You went to school, you can spell.
Yeah. Alphabetic.
Damn, bro, 7 years, Joe.
Hey man, we can shut it down.
Y'all got events coming up? You want to plug in?
I'm still stuck on the 7 years. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Any events coming up? See if I'm pinch something.
7 years of slave.
Ain't no slavery.
Wow.
But hey, listen. This is stuck in, I can't even shout out stuff. This is all on the script now. Perfect Office Solutions.
Sipping Paint soon come.
yeah.
Live shows soon come.
TBD.
We're probably looking at some fall dates. But
Money
we got some dope ideas for pods coming up. Some nice features in the pipeline. So be on the lookout.
Reflex.
We're gonna be like y'all. Hopefully be comfortable in our new studio that we at.
Hey, we gotta come through, man.
Sound Theory Studios.
Man,
and
pull up, man.
Yeah, man.
you know, we get some video action too. You know what I'm saying?
Can I say one last parting thing? Shout out to all my celibate brothers and kings and queens.
Yeah.
Don't because of that rush marriage. Because you want this the fruit, the penis and the vagina, and you rush marriage, and then you divorce. Was it worth it?
Thank you,
It
guys.
is not. If you choose to be celibate, then enjoy.
Dap him up so we can go.
But
If I did 7
if you
years,
can't handle it,
you can do 14.
go and banana. That's it.
If I can do 7 years, you can do 14. Hey, man, listen.
Appreciate y'all coming through, man. This episode was in partnership with Perfect Office Solutions,
Yes, sir.
providing affordable, flexible office space. Starting at just $4.99. Yeah, man. Use promo code SITM Podcast.
$4.99.
Nah, $599.
I need a space.
Hey, SITM Podcast on all social media platforms. Screenshots, links, send it to all your peoples, your ex-boyfriends, and your moms and your aunties in the WhatsApp group chats.
Yeah, man.
And listen, we appreciate y'all checking this out. Hit that subscribe button. And this is Stuck in the Podcast.
And we out.
Cheers.
That was beautiful.